Most people thought that I started my media productions business because I love filmmaking, but that's not entirely true. I'm going to tell you the real reason today. So before I can really get into it, I have to take you back to when I was at my all-time lowest. When I was 18, I received a scholarship to go play football in Mississippi, and my entire life I thought that was going to be the thing that I was going to do for the rest of my life. That was going to be the thing that was going to take me out of my small town and potentially make it to the next level. While I was in my first semester of college and my first semester of playing college football, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and it radically changed my life. I lost a lot of weight. I had to go get emergency surgery because I had a staph infection. While all this was happening, I was in a very dark place. I was in a place that I never thought that I would get, and it led me into a spiral of events. It led me into turning my back on God, turning my back on family, and all of these different things. I started getting into drugs and drinking and all of these things, and I had no idea where I was going in my life. My entire life, I was always known as the athlete, the soccer kid, the kicker on the football team. That was my identity. That fall of 2019 was the moment in the time that changed my life. So in the midst of this terrible first semester of college, I was at my all-time low. My grandma had gifted me this present on Christmas, and I still remember to this day of just the feeling of the box and just how anxious I was to try to rip all of the cardboard off. And when I opened it and I looked, it was a Rebel T6 Canon camera. And I know what you're thinking, it's like, a Rebel T6? That's not really a good camera. And yeah, you're exactly right. It really was not the best camera you could get. It's like the most entry-level camera that you could get to start photography and videography as a hobby. And I made the most of that little camera, and I just remember just taking pictures of nature and just taking pictures of flowers and all of these things, and I didn't really think anything of it. I knew that I was always creative deep down, but I never got to fully express it because I was always just traveling for soccer on the weekends and all the things. So I just never really had the opportunities to express my creative freedom and see what that avenue could unlock for me. After I had received this camera, I think it was probably a year and a half that I still continued down this dark path and spiraling kind of out of control in my life because I was still low from not really playing sports anymore, the only thing that I ever really thought that I was good at. And during this time of spiraling out of control, I was still taking photos and doing the thing until I transferred schools to LSUA, Louisiana State University of Alexandria. And at the time, a lot of my friends kind of knew that I was taking photos and of nature and whatnot. They kind of had saw me taking a couple senior photos, and they said, "Oh, Caden, you should consider trying to go to join the media team." I remember running into the head of media, Nathan Parrish, and I remember very early on he was telling me, like, "Man, have you ever considered video? Man, have you ever considered video? Man, you should really come video and check it out." And I told him, I'm like, "No, man, I don't want to do that. Like, video is just like," I felt like it was too complicated. And I remember the first time that I had ever considered videoing, I upgraded from my T6 to a Canon 90D. I went and filmed one of the sports teams. That's when I knew there's something about video that I can't miss out on. And so it spiraled, and I started investing and using my student loans to go buy cameras, and I was spiraling, putting myself in debt, but I knew deep down that video was going to be the thing. Videography, media, cinematography, that was going to be the avenue. That was going to be the bread and butter. That was going to be the thing that was going to be a tool in my life. And so I started really pursuing it really heavily, really fast, really deep, for 5 months. The summer of 22 was coming up, and the same leader of the media team, Nathan, had asked if I wanted to come and check out and see what they call public relations of Louisiana, where you just get a bunch of PR professionals in the room together and just kind of network. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. And I ended up going, and it actually turned out to be a really good moment that I actually got really close and I got connected with my colleague now, Dirk Margheim, over at RoyOMartin. It's a wood products manufacturer. I had an opportunity that summer through the connection with Dirk to be an intern and a media intern over there, and I took it, of course. And I didn't even really know that in corporate America they were hiring for videographers, but they were, and I worked really hard, and I had the opportunity to work full-time while I was in school full-time at LSUA. And man, I have to really give glory to God, because I don't know of stories like that, of just being videoing for 5 months and having an opportunity while still in school. It spiraled me into this new avenue that I didn't even know existed. But through this time, while I'm still working full-time in this corporate environment, I've grown a lot. I've understood organizational dynamics, how to communicate and how to pitch ideas, and that was a thing that I wasn't very good at coming into media. A lot of media guys, they think that you're gonna land jobs and land gigs because you have good gear and you can make video and images look good, but what I've realized, that's actually not true. It's really, how are you positioning yourself in communicating your ideas, right? It's been really a blessing, and it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey. I don't know where I'm going. I'm still on the side. I have my media production company, CayRey Media Productions, and it's grown so much, and I've landed some pretty big clients and some great opportunities, and it happened so, I would say, relatively fast. So I have no idea where my steps are and where I am going with this thing, but I just know that media has been it came at an interesting point in my life, and it came at an interesting time, and it's provided and opened up doors for me that I really didn't know existed. It's been 5 years since I've been technically running my freelance business. It's been 5 years. So I'd like to see what happens next. Definitely want to try to create some more content and put out there, and not only of just my personal life and my personal brand, but just to even talk a little bit about media and the insights of how to pitch ideas, talk about ideas, how to land bigger clients, and all these things. And I remember getting pretty deep. I remember talking with my colleague Dirk a couple of years ago. I said, man, like a lot of videographers are getting this nice gear. They're shooting with the Arri Alexas, the cinema cameras, they're getting all the good stuff. And I had recently, at the time, upgraded from my 90D to a Canon R6, and I rigged it up and everything. And I kept telling them, I said, man, I want to be one of the first guys to land a $10,000 contract with my Canon R6, and I said, I want to make it happen. I want to do it. I'm confident. It's not about the gear, but it's about how can you make the gear work for you. Yeah, there's a limit and there's a threshold there, but I was set out in faith, obviously, to make that happen, and I made some intentions. And I think a year after we had that conversation, I had ended up landing one of the biggest contracts of my life at the time, this past year, shooting with this gear that is good. It's good grade gear, but it definitely could be a lot better. But I set out and I made it happen. But if I had to say, what has the camera taught me? I wouldn't say that it taught me that I love filmmaking, but I think it's taught me that I love to convey emotions and build stories that when people look at it, they're moved. It's not the filmmaking itself, but it's the outcome of what the media can do for businesses, brands, and people. And so I just want to lean into telling emotional stories and doing it, and when people watch it, it moves them. It makes them feel something. Because when people feel something, they're obligated to have some type of reaction, to move, to do something, to consider something, to donate. Whatever it is, media can do that. Good media can do that. Just taking it one day at a time. I'm just saying, here I am, Lord, send me. And the camera's the tool and the avenue. This video and this piece of content will be a interesting one 5 years from now, looking back. So if I can give my future self any advice now, that is, keep the Lord first, be obedient, and don't be afraid to take a leap.